Hello campers, now that you're done canoeing and doing the portage, got your camp set up, it's time to eat. Worked up quite an appetite, but you may be asking yourself before you even get started, what can I eat? Well, nowadays there isn't too many limitations. Years ago it was kind of a macaroni and cheese diet and fish, but today, as you can see on the table here, we've got quite a few items to choose from. So whatever you can imagine, there's probably a meal menu for that. Well, there's several ways that you can put your meal ideas together. One is to call an outfitter and they'll take care of all your meal and your menu for you. Another way is to purchase the prepackaged meals in a little envelope. Tear the top of the envelope off, pour in your hot water, let it sit, eat your meal. Another way is to search the internet, different stores, different outlets, come up with some items like you see here on the table and put your meal menu together yourself. So you're not limited anymore. A lot of variety. As you can see here, there's a few items. Let's just take a quick look at what we have that we can choose from. Of course, we've got the spaghetti. That's an easy one. We've got dried peanut butter. We have dried honey. And we have dried milk. A good one, of course, is pancakes. Here's another easy dressing mix. There's items out there, dried eggs. And of course, dried vegetables. We have a meat chicken substitute for protein. We have dried fruit, as in apples. There are some dried mushrooms here. And then of course we got other boxed items like this rice-a-roni and maybe some breadcrumbs for your fish. Can't forget the ramen noodles. That's a nice easy lunch mixed in with some dried vegetables. Again, you can search for these items at the large food stores, outfitting stores, sporting goods stores, gun and ammunition, 5 Sports, things like that. So you'll probably be able to find just about anything that you want to prepare for meals. You can just bring the items separately, or you can do what I've seen done in the winter months or before you decide to go, figure out what your meal menus are going to be, make them at home in your kitchen stove, and then dry it and prepare it so that it's all done. All you have to do is add boiling water. And you can prepare those types of meals. You can use an item like this, a food dryer. Make your meals, whatever it might be, put it on the food dryer. When it's all dried, package it and pack it away in your gear bag. Another way is to use your oven, same way. Prepare your meal, spread it out on a big cake pan, dry it in the oven, pre-package it, pack it away in your gear bag. Maybe use the sun outside if you're in that part of the country where you can use the heat of the sun, power of the sun, to dry your meal as well, package it, and prepare your trip that way. Myself, when I do it, I get the dried food items and I will put my meal menu together myself. I will sit down and I will determine the days that I'm going to be traveling, the days that I'm going to be camping, and I'll put together the meal menu in that order. So if I'm going to be traveling, canoeing and portaging, I will probably have just a nice homemade trail mix. Those are easily put together too. I like to make my own. That way I keep a lot of the candy out of it so that I have energy and not just sugar energy. I want food energy. So I'll make my own. Just as you can make just about anything that you want yourself nowadays. The industry is geared that way. After I've got my trip planned out, where I'm going, the days I'm traveling, days I'll be in camp, then I'll put together different menu items for those particular days. Take for instance breakfast. My wife and I, we will have about 3 different breakfast menus that we like. The eggs, the dried eggs, and hash browns one morning. One morning we will have pancakes. Another morning we will have oatmeal with raisins and nuts. And we'll just keep rotating those meals. And for lunches, we will have maybe a ramen, maybe some spaghetti with some dried vegetables and mushrooms to give it some substance. We'll put in a meat substitute like chicken and have a real nourishing lunch. Supper, I will try and save my supper menu for fried fish, potatoes, and a dried vegetable. I'll bring flour. Sometimes we can make a loaf of bread or some muffins or items like that in your little oven. You don't have to necessarily bring a Dutch oven. You can create one with the cooking utensils that you already have. Maybe just use the rocks around the fire pit to create an oven. Several ways there that you can create an oven to make bread, even a pie. I've done that. I've had apple pie. And we will discuss some of those tricks in the future. So figure out your days that you're going to be camping. Figure out the meals you like. Start shopping, putting it together. You're going to want to consider items to drink too, whether it's tea or coffee in a bag like this. Makes it pretty simple. They have coffee in little packages like this, just like the Gatorade. So a lot of variety in that department as well. My wife and I, we've got a nice little water bottle here, and it has a built-in filter. So we will just dip water out of the lake. We will add some nice flavor to it. And we carry these in our pocket as we're traveling throughout the day or fishing, so that we've got some flavor to add to the water. Makes it a little more drinkable, and you stay hydrated. It's a nice trick there is to add some flavoring, Gatorades and such. Keep your electrolytes up, because you do work hard. You do sweat, of course. And once we've got that figured out, what I like to do is I will put each day in a bag, your various items, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in one bag. And then we will put it in another bag like this. we'll write Sunday, the whole day, right in here. If we're going to be gone for more than 1 week, I will put the date on here, because that way you can kind of keep track of the days as they unfold. If you're only going to be out for a few days, you don't necessarily need to put the dates on it. But we go out for 2 weeks plus at a time, so I like to try and keep track of the days. So all the day's meals into one bag, label it for that day, and then pack it in the bag or the food barrel. So you'll have your food all put together, and you're going to need some way of carrying your food. Now I've changed from a backpack to a bare barrel. The bare barrel will help keep rodents out. This is a good sized bag for your food and your other items. As you can see, it's got side pockets, top pockets, good straps for the shoulder. It's got a good cummerbund, very comfortable. But right here in the middle, there's a patch. That's because a little mouse got in there. We got to our campsite, we set up camp, we're sitting down, having a snack, and we seen a little mouse run across the campsite, and pretty soon we could hear something. He was in the backpack. In just a few minutes, he had eaten a hole right through there. He was inside, damaging some of the food items that we had. So we've graduated from a backpack to the food barrel. But either way, any way you want to carry your food, we would then mark the items and in reverse order, pack them at the bottom to the top. This particular barrel, this will hold 2 weeks worth of this type of dried food for 2 people, my wife and I. I have another barrel, so if we're going to be out for 4 weeks, we will bring 2. And that way it doesn't have to be a real large barrel. They make several sizes, so you can choose the one that best fits your outings and the amount of people that you're going to be traveling with. Either a backpack or a barrel, or several backpacks and several barrels, either way. So then the bare barrel, they're hard. That way the rodents won't get in there and destroy your food. Whether you're using a bag or a barrel, you're going to have to carry it, of course. Everything that you're going to be taking into the boundary waters or camping, wherever you're at, you're going to have to carry it. So make sure it's got a good, secure means to you carry your food. For the barrel, they do have special backpacks built just for the barrel. I opted for something called an Alice pack. It has nice soft straps and cummerbunds and lots of adjustments on it. It's got a little tray on the back. Set the bare barrel on there. Strap it in good and secure. Very easy to carry. There's other places and room to carry other items as well. So I like the Alice pack. It's a little bit less expensive as well. So I've opted for the Alice pack. So you get to camp, whether it's a bare barrel or backpack, you're going to want to protect it from rodents and the elements. If you're going to put your food in a tree, you're going to need rope to do that. And I've got two different types of rope here. This is a pretty good sized nylon rope. It's easy to grab. You're going to need twice the length plus to get up and over the tree branch and back down to the ground. This type of cord, very strong for doing the job. but it's very hard to get a hold of it. It's pretty small. So be careful that you don't get too small, and of course you don't want to get too large, because then it'll get heavy and cumbersome, hard to carry. So once you got your equipment at camp, you're going to want to secure it in a tree or in the air in some way to protect it from the rodents and possible bear. With the barrel, of course, that'll keep the rodents out, certainly keep the water out. So there's just about any menu item you could think of. Don't forget your spices, salt and pepper, and they have, of course, shakers that have multiple spice containers in them. Stay away from anything that's cardboard or paper, of course. It will get wet. So stay with plastics, things that doesn't get affected by water, because it can rain, or you could get water on your bag from just your normal portaging and canoeing. So try and keep all that in mind. So don't be limited with just the macaroni and cheese and jerky anymore. Get creative. You should be able to find just about any food item that you can think of. If you like spices, make sure that you bring them. Curry and garlic and all the good stuff. There's no need to starve yourself or not eat good or enjoy the meals you're eating. So nowadays, it's pretty easy to do. If you want to make breads and biscuits, like I said, we'll discuss that at a later time when I'm talking about the cook kit. So you can put together a little Dutch oven out of your cooking utensils that you already have. So we'll discuss that in another time. And I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to look and listen. I don't have a lot of music that fades in and fades out and exciting pictures, and it's just me and the information. So I appreciate you taking a few minutes. As if everybody knows by now on YouTube, you give it a thumbs up, subscribe button and the bell button and all those other things that they ask you to do so that you keep informed of the information as it comes forward. So again, thank you. It's Richard, and we will see you on the portage trail.